Welcome, and thank you for joining us for Coffee with Hillary and Les, brought to you by the State of Mind Hypnosis and Training Center, located in the heart of the Kawartha Lakes. This is our almost daily community podcast about the mind and how we all might change it in the most simple and helpful ways. Every day we sit, staring at the lake and sipping our coffee, chatting about hypnosis and how to make those meaningful adjustments to our state of mind. Because nothing's more important than your state of mind.
Okay, we're on the line.
Here we go, my tech wizard. Yeah, so we're sitting here having a conversation, decided that it should be a podcast. So Hillary quickly got the microphone plugged in and turned on.
Yes.
And we'll see if this turns into a podcast or not.
Yes.
So the lawn tractor CAC today, it's been this wonderful lesson in life. My neighbor moved, and his lawnmower is old enough to be old, but new enough to be considered relatively new for an old tractor.
And he left you the tractor.
And he left me the tractor. What a lovely man. And it's been, how long have we had it? Year and a half? 2 years? 2 years?
And the first day.
The very first day, it just basically exploded on the lawn. And it took me like 600 YouTube videos and about $180 in parts. And now the thing runs like a dream, right? But it took me, like I said, like learning and thinking and learning and thinking. And it's not like I haven't fixed cars or things before. So it was just a matter of sort of putting things in perspective. But I was cautious because these things, we just spent 10 minutes on Facebook. What's the average price of these things used? They look like they're from the Civil War.
Yeah, 2,000, 1,500 to 2,000.
Yeah, it's worth thousands of dollars if I can get it running. Well, the long story short is yesterday it broke down again. So the underneath the mowing part, the deck, I don't know what. I think maybe it's the drive belt, because it just sort of stopped turning. I don't think it's seized. I think it's just the drive belt's finally kaput. But there's like 72 points of places where it's held up underneath the tractor, and you got to pull pins out of every one of those points, and then you got to drop it down, and then you got to figure out how to get it back on afterwards, which is the thing that I'm really kind of worried about. But anyway, we were talking about how incredible it is that we've got all this relatively useful stuff out there that ends up in the dump. It ends up as garbage, right? And there's lots of tractors for sale for $300 that they don't know what's wrong with it, but it won't run, but you can have it for $300 because they know there's value there. And at the same time, they haven't a clue how to get that value out of it. Mm-hmm. And then you said, don't remember what you said?
I don't.
About kids wanting to fix them?
Oh, yeah, I just feel like nowadays. Kids these days. I just don't see any people out there. I think about 50 years from now, and I don't see, unless people take up hobbies, I don't really see this want to learn how to tinker and fix stuff like this, right? So, there's one person down the road about 20 minutes that has a lawn full of tractors and he fixes things. But it's not often you see that any longer. It's not often that's around. And I think about 50 years and who knows, maybe there'll be like some magic way of mowing your lawn by then, but these things that we've come to use. Yeah, it just feeds into that whole how companies are just making things now to become obsolete, right? In a matter of years, and then instead of fixing it, you just go buy a new one.
And being a business consultant, I know that the businesses are not saying, okay, well, some of them are, but they're not saying, I want this thing to break on June 12th in 5 years. They're saying, we don't care how long it lasts. So make it nice now, and don't worry about trying to make it last, because we want to sell more of them down the road. Anyway, I guess, between Hillary saying, nobody's going to who wants to become a tractor fixer, right? And at the same time, I think about just the lost art of it all. One of the YouTube videos, the main YouTube video that I watched yesterday is this guy. I think I'll give him a promo. I think it's Archie's Garage, I think is the name of it. Just this down-to-earth, salt-of-the-earth guy who really knows what he's doing. And he was showing how to take the deck off a Craftsman tractor and fix it up. But it wasn't like he was trying to fix it up. He was rebuilding the thing from scratch. And even to the point of, showing on the video how to repack the bearings on the little spindles that turn the blades, and how to take the blades off and use a wire brush to bring some life back to them. And then, repack the bearings, repack the spindles, put the whole thing back together, get the blades spinning perfectly balanced. I mean, this is lost stuff. And it's incredibly valuable when you think that, you're buying a tractor and you want it to last your lifetime. But in our world, we don't. We don't think about it lasting a long time. And we're so passive about it too. It just, to me, I always come back to the programming. We have programmed people to think that these skills just don't matter. We have programmed people to think that getting 4 or 5 years out of something that you paid thousands of dollars for is somehow acceptable. This is just programming. It's just a perspective that we take on. And the world could be so incredibly different depending on what the programming is. And I guess that's my fascination with all of this stuff, is I immediately look to what has led us here. We see all these social phenomena, like yesterday. Talk about the smoke. You were talking about the smoke.
Yeah. So, for the last few days, the fires have been burning in northern Ontario and Quebec, even Nova Scotia, and we are seeing the smoke now where we live. And suddenly on the weather app, there's this idea being pushed that we are in a fire season, wildfire season. And I was joking to Les this morning saying, it's just kind of funny that they're calling it wildfire season. It's like they're trying to convince us that this happened last year and the year before, and it's just wildfire season. And I understand, of course, there's wildfires all over Canada and in the US and all over the world, really. But it's kind of new, this smoke to us, right, in Ontario. We've had smoke before, but this is relatively new in this capacity. And
never anything like this.
Anything
I'm
like this.
I'm old,
no.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm old, and I've been around a little while. And I agree. When I was a teenager, I worked on fighting forest fires up in Thunder Bay and Moosonee. I knew this stuff, but it's never, ever anything like this. This has been days.
Yeah. And it looks like days to come. I don't see any what we're experiencing because of the smoke is this cool temperature. And I don't see that lifting. They're projecting next week that it gets warmer. So I don't know. I'm just deducing from that it might be clearer and warmer. But yeah, it's basically this idea that it's like they're pushing this narrative of, oh, it's wildfire season, so just expect it, right?
Well, it is, that they joke about it in Vancouver. My sons live in Vancouver, and they talk about, smoke season. They talk about spring, summer, and smoke. They're used to that idea now. It's been 3 or 4 years anyway that they've been experiencing that. The weather has literally changed. Now, I'm not going on some environmental rant here. My fascination is not with the environment. My fascination is in the way we program ourselves to accept these things, because they really are brand new. They're startling. They're upsetting. They're changing our life. I mean, I'm not going outside, because when I come inside, I literally can taste the smoke in my mouth. It's that we have these techniques, these methodologies, and whether it's podcasts or memes or reels or TikToks or whatever, we have this way of taking something new and turning it into normal and literally changing our values. So to me, that's my fascination. That's why I wanted Hillary to turn on the microphone, was because there's just these examples in our world today of this shift in values. And it's neither good or bad. It's neither right or wrong. It's about observing it and understanding how it takes place and deciding whether or not you want to go along with it. Do I want to go along with this idea that people don't want to work in the trades? That's a new push, that people trying to convince families once again that working in the trades is a worthwhile endeavor. Well, it always was, but it was never the way you got ahead. And so parents wanted their kids to get ahead. So they wanted their kids not to. My dad was a plumber, and he was happy if I took on a trade, but he was happier if I went to school and took myself to a different level. And to this day, he's 89 years old, and whoever comes within earshot, he's got to tell them that his son's a lawyer. And I'm not anymore. The point is that we have these values embedded in us, right? And we have now tried to reverse those values because we don't have people who want to fix tractors. And yeah, it just comes back to me seeing that guy on that video, Archie's Garage. And Archie is this ultimate mechanic in the purest capital M sense of everything. The guy can take something, anything apart, figure out its parts. He knows how to make the parts fit just properly snug. He's just amazing. And he's just an older value guy. And so I think about how our society shifts its values and changes its values, and these programs that go in our head. And I'm using that word a lot, I know, because I don't think there's a more accurate word. It's how we interpret things. It's how we respond to things. It's how we create things. And to me, that's a program. Mm-hmm. Sorry for that rant, but I had to get it out there because if we're aware of how society is shifting, if we're aware of how each of us is shaped into our values and thus our behaviors, then we can be a little more deliberate about it. My thing always has been and always will be, people should be allowed to choose what they want. And if it doesn't affect me, it's none of my business. And if it affects me positively, then I should just smile and nod and move on. Yeah, choice. It's all about choice. Mm-hmm. Doesn't change the fact I got a tractor to fix.
Are you suffering from the sunk cost fallacy?
That was good. Yeah, so the lawn tractor sitting in the lawn, and I'm going to have to do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do I value? I value my ability to do it. I've already rebuilt the whole thing, right from the key to turn it on, all the way through the solenoid to the battery to the whole fuel line. I replaced the carburetor. I replaced the spark plugs and the oil. And the thing just purrs now, starts right up. Except
Not
the blades
yesterday.
don't turn anymore.
Just the blades.
The blades don't turn anymore. So I can ride it around, but it's not doing anything.
Oh, God.
Oh, well, maybe that's a podcast.
Yeah, maybe.
Reframe. Maybe the reframe for today is you can reframe life any way you want to. What you value is your choice, and you're allowed to make that choice. And you should hang on to that choice, and you should be aware of that choice. Reframe.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So send those cards and letters. We want questions. we want
snail mail for sure.
Yeah. And send us your questions, and we'd love to answer your questions. And any event you need to promote right now?
No.
No? Okay. Alrighty then. You had enough then?
Yeah, I need another coffee.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's podcast and that maybe it helped, even a little. If you have any questions, we would love you to send them along in an email to info@somhypnosis.com. Thank you for being part of the State of Mind community. For more information about hypnosis and the various online or in-person services we provide, please visit our website, www.somhypnosis.com. The link will be in the notes below. While you are there, why don't you book a free 1-hour journey meeting with Hillary or Les to learn more about what hypnosis is and how you might use it to make your life what you want it to be. Bye for now. Talk to you tomorrow.